Hey everyone, it's Kenji. We're gonna make fattoush. So fattoush is a Lebanese salad, chopped vegetables with stale pita bread that's generally fried. You could also toast it in the oven. I'm gonna fry it today. So it doesn't have to be stale pita bread. This is not stale bread. Actually, this is fresh bread, but it still tastes good. I'm gonna go with two of these. And in the meantime, I'm gonna let me grab some. I don't have my. Here, I'll use some. I'll use some grapeseed. You can use any kind of real neutral oil. I mean, or you can use olive oil if you want to spend the money. Grapeseed oil, you can deep fry it. I'm just gonna kind of shallow fry it, so like maybe a half cup of oil there. Doing it in a wok, which I think is the best vessel for frying anything in. All right, so we're gonna cut our pita first into strips. And then into squares. So this is one of those recipes where if you follow an exact recipe as far as like the vegetables go, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice, because it's meant to be used with sort of whatever vegetables you have, you know, whatever's in season, whatever's fresh, whatever you got in the fridge. The classics are sort of tomato, cucumber, radish, and often bell pepper, as well as some kind of crisp lettuce like a romaine or iceberg. But I got a cucumber, so I'm doing that. I'll probably do that was half a cucumber. I'll do another half cucumber. That was an English American cucumber, so it has a kind of hard skin, so I took it off. This is a Persian cucumber. I'll just leave the skin on. I like variation, right? And with the American cucumber, I'll also take out the seeds so that it's not quite as watery. I'm gonna cut it into chunks. Think of it as like a Lebanese chopped salad. You know, it's kind of like my daughter is into coloring right now, and we have a bunch of these coloring apps on the iPad. This is a lot of seeds, so I'm going to take them out too. And it's like, it's clear, you know, they give you a color palette that you're supposed to work with, and it's kind of clear what they want you to do, but of course, she doesn't color things the way they're supposed to be colored. And that's totally fine, because it's like, you know, you work with your imagination, you do what you want to do, and then you also work with what you got. It's like, you know, if she's painting in real life, she doesn't always have all the right color paints she needs, so she's got to improvise, and she'll do it the way she feels like doing it that way, that day. So it's the same with, you know, this and many recipes. It's like, if you don't have the exact ingredients for it, try and work with what you got. See what you got that might fit the same sort of flavor profile, or might fit sort of the same texture profile, and go from there. And you'll often find that your food is more interesting and better, and of course less wasteful when you do it that way, as well as more inexpensive, because you don't have to go to the supermarket and buy the exact ingredients that a recipe calls for. Like it would be royally silly to read a fattoush recipe, and then go to the supermarket just to buy the exact things that the recipe calls for, because you happen to have other vegetables on hand and not the exact right ones the recipe calls for. That's just sort of defeats the point of the recipe. You know, that said, if you don't follow this recipe exactly, don't blame me if it comes out tasting bad. I'm kidding, of course. Sorta. All right. Come here, you. All right, we're gonna fry up this bread. Probably actually a little more than I need. I could have done half that amount, but that's all right. Extra fried pita, never a bad thing. This beautiful tomato. I used the other half of this tomato earlier to rub it on some toast. Toast that we made from beautiful bread from Backhaus, my friend's My friend's bakery. Beautiful. Sourdough. Downtown San Mateo. They are still open for business. I love tomatoes most. Rub them on my roast. Stir them into my coffee and spread them on my toast. You can use cherry tomatoes, you can use plum tomatoes, whatever kind of tomatoes you like, or no tomatoes at all. Although I feel like tomatoes are one of the things that are kinda essential to this, because they add that kind of juiciness element that you really want, because it kind of soaks into the pita. So what you do is you fry them or you toast them to get rid of excess moisture, and then they kind of absorb moisture. You think of it as what did I call it before? Well, anyhow, think of it as like panzanella, but you know, Lebanese panzanella. So I'm also going to use these snap peas because it's the end of snap pea season, and this is the end of my peas. Actually, I have some more growing in the garden that I'm not sure will ever fully mature, but if they do, we'll have more snap peas later this year. Snap peas are like my favorite. I'm only saying that because they're in front of me. I don't want to hurt their feelings. But snap peas are good in so many ways. They're good stir-fried, they're good steamed, they're good on the pizza oven, they're good in like one of those vegetable baskets on the grill. They are the best raw, I think, like especially when they're nice and sweet. Snap peas also tend to stay sweet even after picking much longer than, say, like asparagus or English peas do. They're just a great vegetable all around. I'm going to cut these into these little, on a bias. I like cutting them like this because sometimes, you know, the thicker ones have bigger peas inside, and they're almost like the size of English peas, and so those peas kind of fall out when you cut them on a sharp bias like this and enter your salad, and so it's like you get double the types of vegetables for the price of one, because it looks like you prepared snap peas and English peas, and everyone's like, "Ooh, look at all the vegetables in there." When really your secret is it's just one vegetable that has two parts. All right. There's that. It's getting nice and golden. So as far as frying goes, when you shallow fry like this, you kind of naturally get slightly more uneven cooking. So you'll have some darker pieces, some lighter pieces. Whereas if you deep fry, you get a much more even color all around because they're exposed to oil on all sides. So you can kind of, if you really want to have that perfect even doneness all around, my daughter's having a race. Even doneness all around, you can deep fry them, or you can do what I do and just shallow fry them, and I think I kind of like that imperfection, and I kind of like that each bite is a little bit different. Some parsley. You can also do other herbs like mint or cilantro. I just happen to have some parsley from another recipe, and oftentimes people say, "What do I do with all this extra parsley I have?" Well, this. Oh, as for washing this, people ask me, "Do I wash my herbs?" I do. I rinse them. So usually what I do is when I get a bunch of herbs, I'll just show you real quick. When I get a bunch of herbs, I wash them like this. I try and get into all the little cracks like that. I leave the band on them when I get them from the supermarket or from the farmer's market or wherever you end up getting them. Give them a good rinse, and then give them a good shake. Just remember old episodes of Bob Ross where he beats the devil out of the brush at the end, and he really loves it. I like doing this with herbs. So you just shake it back and don't beat them. You don't beat them like you would beat a brush. But give them a good shake. There you go. And there you have your nice rinsed herbs without having to pull out the salad spinner or your towels or anything. Yeah, and they're a little bit wet, but hey. If you do that the day you get them, then you don't have to do it again, and they dry out by the time you're ready to use them, usually. You do it as soon as you bring them home. All right, that seems like a reasonable amount of parsley. Oops. Some of these are burning. I think we're just about good here. I will pick out some of those darkest ones that ran away from me a little bit. Take this. Whoa! Sorry, Shabu. No, Shabu, don't go near that, alright? It's a little hot. I know the shoe police are going to be like, now, don't you regret not wearing shoes? And the answer is no, I regret nothing. I'd rather be comfortable in my own kitchen and occasionally burn my foot or impale it on a dropped knife than live my life in fear. People who live their lives in fear are destined to uncomfortable feet. Here. Little Bernie. Alicia, come up with a name for the toasted pita. Let's call him Bernie. I think I've used that joke before on this channel, haven't I? I always find, like, whatever medium I'm writing for or producing stuff for, there's people who know my work way better than I do. It's like, I got no idea if I've used that dumb joke before or not. I think I probably have, but I'm not sure. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of make a bed out of this pita. Make a little bed out of it. Then, watch out, Shabu. We're going to toss the salad. So I got some lemon. Get the seeds out of there. Close enough. Might get a seed or two in there. That's all right. Lemon. Ingredient number uno. Let's use this olive oil because I feel like it. Val di Luna Farms. I got this at where did I get this? I got this at the Half Moon Bay nursery the other day, which my daughter calls the plantery because it's where we get plants. Which makes me wonder, where did all the nurses come from? All right, and some salt. And some pomegranate molasses, which I'm going to tell you something about it, and you're never going to be able to untaste it. It tastes just like strawberry nerds. I'm serious, like the tartness, the aroma, strawberry nerds all the way. You're never going to untaste it now. Oh, I forgot to add my lettuce. Lechuga. And in fact, you know what? Now that I know I have this much lettuce, I'm going to use a bigger bowl to serve this in. I'm using arugula because it's what I had. But like I said, you know, like a good crunchy green, like arugula or romaine. Like romaine or iceberg would be great in this. Iceberg lettuce, I think it was a maligned lettuce when it shouldn't have been. People say it's flavorless and it just tastes like water. It doesn't. Iceberg has flavor. It has sweetness, it has bitterness, like it tastes like stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. It has more flavor than romaine does, I think. At least good iceberg. All right, let's give this all a toss. And now I realize I'm going to need it. We're going to need a bigger bowl. Let's do it in this guy here. bed of toasted pita. Let's taste this, make sure it's... So it's got that like tartness from the lemon, a little bitterness and astringency from really good olive oil, and all with that, you know, chaser of strawberry nerd. And so what's going to happen there is the vegetables are going to let their juices down onto the pita. And the pita, which is now devoid of moisture because we fried it all out, is going to drink it all up. And it's going to taste delicious. Oh, you know what? Last thing we'll do? A little bit of pomegranate. Let's get one little wedge out here. Don't need too much. Let's see if that works. This works on some pomegranates. There you go. I know some people are gonna like link me to some video where some guy in like Istanbul is seeding a pomegranate in 2 seconds with like perfect precision and whatever. This is the fun of it for me, or so I say. All right. And yeah, the way I do pomegranate, you see it has like ridges. I cut down the tops of those ridges and then a little bit at the top and the bottom, and usually you're able to kind of pop out a wedge at a time that way and save the rest for later. And the seeds come out relatively easily, I think. All right. There we go. That is the salad. My hands are covered in pomegranate juice. All right, dinner's almost ready. So, I think I called it both Lebanese chopped salad and Lebanese panzanella. It's kind of a cross between the two. Fattoush. That's it. And I know Hamon loves the tomatoes. Here you go, Hamon. Good boy. All right, everyone. It's dinner time. Bye-bye.